Hi there, product Xers. Today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about keto, the scale, body composition, and something called the whoosh effect. So many of you, of course, have started, and most of us are on our second week, or actually in our third week now. Anyway, so the first week that you start the keto diet, a lot of people will experience rapid weight loss, but then that doesn't always continue. So the reason for this is the water that's being excreted from your body as you first restrict calories may cause weight to drop. And so each gram of glycogen, which is from carbs, that's stored in the body, is stored in the body with at least 3 grams of water. So as you introduce the fats and you remove the carbs, you'll experience a lot of water loss, which means your overall weight loss will drop pretty quickly. So people get excited because that's why many of us are doing this, but then often it'll halt, and that's perfectly normal. I've talked to some people that are a little worried about that, and which is what caused me to go back and reread some of the information. So after the first 2 weeks, typically on keto, your body begins to adjust to this new way of eating, and glycogen stores slowly refill. So you may experience some weight gain, but it doesn't mean you're storing fat. So that's important. So which leads me to the whoosh effect. So as you burn fat, you're sometimes noticing areas, I'm pointing to my stomach, that's my area, where fat used to be tends to take on kind of a squishy consistency. And the reason that it forms is because the fat cells are extracted and they're mobilized, and the space where they once existed gets filled with water. So it makes your area feel softer than normal. Sometimes you can actually see these pockets, and some are microscopic. But the point is, it's not fat. They're filling with water. Now, this can last for a few days, as much as up to a few weeks. And then one day, for most of us, suddenly, out of nowhere, all of a sudden, that squishy fat, it tightens up, and it suddenly, the scale number drops. And we get excited because we think, oh, it must have been what I did yesterday that caused me to lose that weight. Well, it'll probably surprise you, it did me when I first read this, to learn that almost all of our scale movements are the result of fat that happened days or even weeks ago, fat burning. So that sudden scale movement at the very beginning of a diet, of course, it's because of that water weight being dropped due to our decrease of carb intake. But typically, the number on your scale when dieting is because of fat that you lost several days or weeks ago, and your body is finally expelling the water that took the fat's place, and that's called the whoosh effect. And so you may notice that out of nowhere one day you not only feel leaner, your number drops. So keep that in mind if you've been frustrated about looking at the scale. Now, many people recommend, and you probably heard this, to not weigh yourself every day, not even every week. And some people say, get rid of your scale, just go by measurements and how your clothes fit. If you're like me, the scale kind of keeps me on track, but I'm trying not to be addicted to that daily number because if it causes you to worry, it's not healthy at all. So we know that the scale will fluctuate as you're losing weight, and we also know that fat loss is not a linear process. So we've kind of heard that. It's better to focus on the progress of your overall fat percentage as opposed to that number. So a few other reasons the scale might not be accurate. When a lot of people who start exercising also start to work out if they haven't for a while. So they will start gaining muscle, especially if you haven't worked out in a while and you start, you may see muscle rapidly come on. Muscle actually weighs more on the scale. So when you get on that, it's not fat, it's muscle. The other is exercising increases bone density. So the more that you exercise and eat healthfully, the denser your bones become. This can also add to total weight. Another is a lot of us, we're being told, and we know this, to drink a lot of water. Erin said this on the call the other day. Our body holds a lot of water, and 2 liters of water comes to around 4 pounds. So if you drink a lot of water before stepping on the scale, you might see that number fluctuate 2 to 4 pounds. I've had that happen when I go to the doctor. I always get frustrated. I weigh in the morning and then I maybe add coffee and water and I step on and it's 3 pounds more there. So again, not being addicted to the scale. Also, exercise muscles retain water. So when you exercise your muscle, it not only helps them grow larger, but it will cause them to retain more glycogen and water. We also know that hormonal fluctuations can change your water weight. And the other is not all scales are accurate. A lot of us have bought the Renfro scale, and what's more important than that number on the scale is actually looking at your BMI and body fat percentage. So again, getting away from being hooked on that number. So Erin said something really good, I think it was last night, that when we think about our body composition, we are not walking around with a scale every day. So why are we addicted to watching that? We're walking around with our body, and it's more important to pay attention to body fat, measurements, how lean you feel, how your clothes fit. So this is just a reminder that we don't want to obsess about the scale. For me, it keeps me on track, but not daily. And also just to realize if your weight has suddenly stalled, there are many reasons that don't have to do with gaining fat. It's most likely retaining water as you're getting ready to expel that. So hope this was helpful, and if you have any questions for anyone on the team, just let us know and we'd be happy to get you the answer. Thanks.